A FAM production. Furniture and Mattress. FAM.news.
It was a brand new experience for Mark Quinn, the Vice President of Merchandising, one of the merchants for the largest sleep shop in the country. This was his first market in that new role. How was it different? What did it look like? What was his experience? It's all taking shape, and the Dos Marcos Show begins right now.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
Welcome aboard. Here's your passport to a planet filled with the mattress industry's brightest minds and biggest ideas. The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, my brother Kinsley? How are you, buddy?
Oh, Mr. Quinn, mattress firm Mark Quinn. This is just, I've been waiting for this episode because you were boots on the ground, your first market, diving in, one of the merchants for the biggest sleep shop in the country. And it has to be a different experience when you're the girl everybody wants to take to the dance.
Well, I don't know about that, but so we certainly have a good sized checkbook. But no, first of all, I want to start off talking about Vegas by thanking you. Because you came to me with an idea, you wanted to celebrate my move to Matt Firm, and I was totally against that, absolutely not. And you talked me into it because of your strong opinion, throwing it back on me. We always believe we need to celebrate the big moments in life, and that was certainly a big moment for you. And it was your wanting to toast me and like capture that. But it's also a great reason to bring people together. So you crushed my soul with some of the crap you made fun of me for. I was grateful, though. You spread it around Mike Magnuson, a little bit on my brother, Jeff Quinn. Like, there were plenty of other people. Trent Rainberger and Lil Trent was there. So you spread it around, but it was really funny. And so two quick things, and then I'll let you comment on it from your perspective. But number one, thank you to Englander for hosting it and feeding us the tequila. And what is it Sheila? Who's the person
Susan.
in the space? Susan.
Our dear Susan.
Susan does such a great job. So thank you, Susan, too. She made it so great for everyone. Thank you to Matt Firm, obviously, and the team there for bringing me on board to be able to do it. But also, and your willingness to do that and organize it, Mark, and our friendship. And just, I don't know, man, it was just so awesome. So thank you for making that happen. My brother and sister happened to be there because they were at market, so it was cool to have them there. But the best part of all was the people that showed up. I was so shocked. One of the downsides of doing something like that is you're like, okay, like 10 people are going to like show up and we'll take tequila shots. I was fully prepared. That was going to be a huge, like having the fam together in that way was awesome. Not at all what happened. 130 people-ish showed up, and it was so fun to be with our people and to have that moment together. So thanks for doing that.
It was absolutely my pleasure. I mean, as I was writing the roast, because just for people who don't know, it was a toast and roast. And so we toasted Mark, and of course I roasted Mark. And like he said, I turned toward the audience a few times to make sure and get a little roasting of the audience, which was really fun. And you're right, as we looked at the LinkedIn invite, it went from 10 people to 20 to 50 to 100 to 115. And I knew out of the 115 RSVPs on the LinkedIn invite, we were going to get a lot more than that. So we ended up with about 150 people in the showroom. And it was funny, throughout the entire day, people were excited about the roast and toast, and they kept asking me. I had many people ask me, now this is open mic, right? Because I got a lot of stuff to say about Quinn. And I said, not exactly.
There's no doubt. And I'm glad it wasn't. We would have been there for like 5 hours if we had like turned it open to everyone, as much crap as people probably have on me. But, like even our sponsors, right? Josh and those guys from Qualify and Outward and Leah, and saw Bruce Malkinson there from X-Sensor, and so many of the guys, like for them to get to be there and kind of enjoy that moment with us was awesome. And I don't know, man. And then Mattress Firm people, like my team, we were there, and everywhere we went that whole day, people were like, "Oh, the toast and roast," and the Mattress Firm people were like, "What's this? Like, we didn't know about that. Like, why didn't you invite us?" And I'm like, "Because it's awkward. Like, what am I going to do? Send a thing out to everyone at Mattress? Hey, come to this event where they're going to be like toasting me." Like, it was just so weird for me to. But anyway, so it was kind of funny. But
well, and I'm gonna do you a study here. So at the end of this episode, just people keep listening, because we grabbed video and audio, of course, of the entire roast. So just keep listening to this show, and you will get to experience the roast for yourself. And I have to say, before anybody listens to it, I want to thank Mattress Firm. I want to thank Tempur-Pedic. I want to thank Casper. I want to thank goodbed.com. I want to thank all the people that got the spotlight put on them as part of the roast. It was all in good fun, and I hope it makes you smile. And I definitely had a blast writing the roast, because I looked at it. I'm like, this is the most important speech of my life, because it's my best friend. It's my podcast co-host that I've done over 370 episodes with. It's his big new job, and I can't let anybody off the hook. I have to bring the roast.
Well, no, you did great. And I think the comment I tried to make at the end of it was like, you and I, we've talked about it many times, get to do our work life together in a lot of ways. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And that's what it's really about, man. It's like getting to share those things and those experiences and having success together and failure together and working hard together. And we're so grateful, I know, both of us, for having that time together. And that was our chance to get to share those moments too with the rest of the fam and all the people in the category that are all trying to elevate sleep to the highest level and improve everything for everyone. So love that. Love to be with everybody, for sure.
And here, I want to get you to talk about your experience in market, because it's very unique whenever you've been on the supplier side, the manufacturer side, and now you've moved over to the retail side. But before I do that, I do have to mention one person specifically. His name's Terry Smith.
Yes.
He came to the Toast and Roast with Rachel Wu, and they were awesome to be there and hang out with us. He's listened to the show for a long time, actually used to work with Mattress Firm. And I say that to tee up his coming back the next day to meet me. So I was talking to a customer in the Englander showroom, and they're sitting up there at the bar talking to Susan. And all of a sudden, when I was free, Terry comes over, and he had the most explosive, dynamic, wound up, volcanic hello of all time. He was literally spinning in circles, jumping up and down. He picked me up. He spun me around. He was waving his hands and just yelling and screaming. And he had told Susan ahead of time, he is never going to forget meeting me, and I guarantee you I won't. And I knew that he was an old Mattress Firm person, because a sale is the transfer of enthusiasm, and this guy had enthusiasm. There's literally a picture that Rachel took while he was doing it. I didn't know if I was being attacked or praised. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then after all that, I didn't even tell him this. They gave me a package with some Stance socks in it. And Terry had tracked me down to give me these Stance socks. Well, oddly enough, I had come to Vegas with only 3 pairs of socks. I forgot to pack 2 extra pairs of socks. And it was like, here's Terry Smith, this energetic angel, him and Rachel, that gave me these socks that I wore the ET socks on the last day home. And so I thank them so much. It was experience after experience like that. Tell me, so thank you, Terry. Thank you, Rachel. You're both so amazing. And they wanted to do the same thing to you. But if we would have both been, I think Terry could have handled both of us, by the way. Picked us up, spun us around, no doubt.
I don't know if he could have found me as fast as we're moving, but
yeah. And so, speaking of the energy and enthusiasm, what was your experience like going into these showrooms as on the merchant side?
Yeah, I guess I would start that off by saying I kind of had some feel, right? Because I've been to market enough. The biggest impact was like my sense of team with Mattress Firm people. You know, we had probably 15 people there, but we had people there from visual display and sales and marketing and the merchant team. And, you know, it's not lost on me. Like, you know, I've been there for 3 months and, you know, I know people and stuff, but being there with them, the sense of inclusion, the sense of team, what Anna and Philip are doing and Philip Busker are doing to kind of bring the merchant group together and build a winning team with the right people. I mean, it's just so exciting. So I loved being there with that group of people. It was really, really cool to do that together. They're really fantastic people. And then the other part was like going into the showrooms, obviously, like there's so many people to see because, I have a large cut of responsibility with private brand mattresses and accessories and everything under bed and visual merchandising and just a lot of people to go see. It was tough to get everywhere. And so the first day, Kinsley, literally had not built in any time for restroom breaks, built in no time for food at all. We literally didn't have a meal until probably like 7 p.m. that night. And so a little learning for that from me. So that was probably the biggest thing. And then really going into showrooms and thinking about how I can be more intentional about when I go into showrooms, like, maybe on the front part of Vegas and saying, hey, look, this is what we're looking for very specifically. And then here's the block of time we have so that everybody understands. And for me, it's like keeping the time because you're trying to see so many people. And you hate it. Like there's a lot of people, Kinsley, that I didn't get to go see. And there's guilt in that for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, Brent Bierman with Puffy, he's like, hey, come in. I mean, I love Brent and we know him from the X-Insurers days, but I just, I couldn't make it in. So there's a lot of things like that. So I hate that part of it. But it's so fun to go into showrooms. People are so excited about what they have that's new. And then to get to hear that from them I don't know. It was just so much fun, but because you're with Mattress Firm, Philip said, hey man, when you're here, you're going to end up, people anyway. So it's going to be tough to move around. He's like, you just got to tell people, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late. And so I found that was probably a big challenge too, but overall incredible experience, lots of fun. And, the whole toast and roast was the exclamation point to it all.
Well, take me a little deeper here because I'm interested. Yeah. And I think people will find it interesting.
Sure.
When you're on the manufacturer side or the brand side of things, like you said, you're really excited to share what's new, what's different, and how you think it should be sold. But when you came into market this time, did you have very specific products or projects you were working on and you were going to find the manufacturers or the suppliers that you thought could fill in that slice or show you something to support that program? How did you think about it on the merchandising side? How do you approach it? What's in your field of view?
Yeah, great question. So it's a mix of that, right? So it's stuff you already have a need for. So you're trying to solve a problem or a merchandising opportunity. So there's that part. But it's also like new to world, right? And so that's what I keep trying to tell people, come at me and at Mattress Firm with innovation. Come at us with new to market. In your product development pipeline, we want to see all that. And so Vegas is a great place to wet the whistle. What it's not is a place to do a deep dive on any of it, right? We have 20 minutes. So what we're trying to do is set up, if you think about it, Kinsley, like there's an elevator speech, right? And that's short. And you and I have talked about many times. Well, it's difficult to have an elevator speech because it's 30 floors, right? And you have just a minute or two. So it's tough to consolidate or simplify what you do into an elevator speech. So our time at market, it's 20 minutes, right? So much better than that. But it's still, you have to be concise and intentional about what you're saying. So the best stops we had, people were really respectful of the time we had, meaning they knew we had to move fast. They got into it quickly. You always want a little bit of chit chat and just, catch up and say, hey, how's it going? But they got right into it. And then, the differentiation, right? What are you going to do to be sticky, to be memorable? Like, what are your products? Like, what is the innovation? What is unique? And that's the real stuff that we'll remember, like going out of that. And so, I think it's a combination of those things. It's specific needs. Plus we want to see, hey, what's the new stuff you're working on? Like, we want to know all of that too, because that's where we want to go. We want to take blaze new trails and take new paths.
Whenever you look at a product or an innovation, in the moments when you're navigating market like that, and I know it was your first time under this new role, are you looking at that pitch, that 20-minute pitch, to include, here's how your RSAs could sell this? Or do you really want to focus more on like product innovation and we will figure out how to get that to cascade down to the RSA training level and to eventually stick with the consumer.
Yeah, I think some of the better presentations are when people think about everything from your perspective, right? I try to do that even on the buying side now, right? Like, what are they going through as a manufacturer? And, what are the challenges that they have, or how can we help them, in their company by selling to us? So it's empathy. And so when we go in and someone has a new product pitch, for instance, and they're thinking through it on our side, so they would say something like, hey, we know you have, thousands and thousands of sleep experts, and we think this is how we could train them to sell the product better in the market. Or, they come to us with a product display and they say, hey, here's the product, but here's how we can make it demonstrable point of sale. Like, those guys are thinking through and thinking around the problem. It's not just a product. It's not just a price. Like, there's a lot of stuff we have to consider. So what are the things that we need to make something successful? And so I can always appreciate when someone has thought through those things, even if it's not right or it won't work, or, the idea is a little bit off. There's respect in the fact that that effort was made. And so there is some empathy, and the people that have done business with us maybe have better perspective. People that have been in retail, they kind of understand that as well. But I'd say it's like people who are looking at it 360 degrees and creating not just the product solution, but how do you train on it? How do you integrate it into what you currently do? All of those things matter a lot. So it's nice when people think through those things.
I think this is actually a really healthy discussion that we're having for a variety of reasons. But if you're listening and you have a product to pitch to Mattress Firm at some point in the future, it would be helpful to know, hey, what can I do to support you the best and maximize the time we have together? And I think you've touched on some really key things, like honor the time that you've been given, make sure that it's, a little bit of chit chat and then high impact in terms of what the presentation of the product and how it works and the price is. And then thinking about it, like you said, in a 360 view to help Mattress Firm in Mattress Firm's own environment properly merchandise, demonstrate, and sell that product. And if you can show that pretty quickly, then you're going to walk away knowing they really did think about it from my perspective instead of spec card and price and item and just some of the basics there. So this is helpful because whenever you do go back, you talk about the elevator pitch. Well, the elevator pitch during the summer market, the elevators move pretty quickly, but elevators during the winter market don't move as quickly because that place is usually packed. So it's going to be even harder for you to get around, and you're going to want to make very good use of your time. And the other thing is, I'm just saying, if you get Quinn around noontime, make sure and have some barbecue there and feed the man. We can't have him waiting till 7 o'clock to eat.
Well,
I just won't allow it.
I don't discriminate on other kinds of food. Barbecue is always good. In closing this one up, Kinsley, I just want to say to everybody selling to Mattress Firm, if you have in the past, we're grateful. Like I don't think people maybe understand that as much as it's true. We know that we need great partners, and the people that we got to go in and see, and that whether they're selling to us or not, we appreciate the time you give us. We appreciate the effort you make on our behalf. We appreciate what you guys are doing inside of your own companies to serve us and create cool products to sell. But we can't do it without you. So for everyone that gave us time and brought us their best, appreciate you guys.
And one thing that I could not do without you is this podcast or this roast that people are about to hear. So without further ado, you can watch this if you're watching on video. If you're not, just listen. It's just going to be what it is. And this was the roast and toast of Mark Quinn in the Englander space during summer market 2022. Quinn, thank you for letting me highlight your accomplishment and just chop you down like a tree just a little bit. Lovingly, of course. Lovingly.
Sometimes you need to be chopped down, Kinsley. It was a chop down, but a build back up, so it worked.
All right, brother, man. Hey, love you, and great job on your first market. And thank you to everybody that helped us along the way, showed up to the Toast and Roast. Without further ado, here we go. Okay, does everybody have a drink? Hold it up. Okay, we're good. All right, it is 7 o'clock somewhere in Mark the Ground. There he is. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out here.
to answer one of the questions that also came up is, no, just because Mark took a job with Mattress Firm, the Dos Marcos show does continue. We're not breaking up. Not that we were a couple to begin with. So I want to thank everybody for coming out to celebrate my friend Mark Quinn's new job at Mattress Firm. You know, the first thing he said to me is, I don't want you to do this. I really don't want you to do this because, you know, he's shy, he's introverted, he's a little standoffish. Sure. I mean, you don't hear him before you see him very often. But I gotta say, it was really hard for me. It was really hard. So it's hard when I was thinking about how to razz Quinn, because, you know, where do I start in this file folder full of fatted saved material?
Give a whole file folder.
But I thought maybe a good starting point was this newspaper clipping that his mom saved. Thank you so much to Quinn's mom for saving this one that says, Quinn never silent for the Mustangs. Now this is a picture of Mark when he's 17 years old announcing a baseball game for the Mustangs, and let me just put it in context for you. Baseball, this is by T.W. Lawrence. Baseball is the only sport where 7 minutes of action is squeezed into 2.5 hours. Teams have gone to great expense to keep fans entertaining during the non-action periods of the game. Chicago has Harry Carey. And the Kingwood Mustangs have spared no expense in giving us Mark Quinn. Mark first came to my attention when I heard him announce a Kingwood game, and he said the pitcher, Hutchinson, had chalked up 7 strikeouts in 1 inning. 7 strikeouts in 1 inning. Mark also had problems with runs, balls, outs, and other minor details. This voice of the Mustangs is a junior at Kingwood High School and is president of his class. He loves girls, pop music, and the Kingwood Mustangs. Quinn's tools of the trade include a tape recorder with baseball music, a microphone, a Dolly Parton cassette, and a genuine enthusiasm and spirit he transmits to the crowd. A lot has changed, huh? He also announces basketball, and if the powers that be had any brains, they would let him try his hand at pigskin time. So, Mark and I have had many misadventures throughout the years. You know, we've seen a Super Bowl winning quarterback Jim McMahon in a Speedo. Yeah, yuck is right.
Not the best.
We have been to a Willie Nelson concert. We became auctioneers. Thank you, Roger. We've written a book together. We've spent over $100,000 of Leggett & Platt's money to make a hybrid mattress wrap video.
Thank you, Leggett & Platt.
Thank you, Leggett. I think adjusted for inflation, that's like $834,000. It's been a hell of a ride, and you know, it's great to see many of his friends here today to celebrate him. You know, people, I think I saw Brian Baxter around here, looking all avocado California cool. There he is. Hey, Brian. You know, Baxter, I knew the guy for years, and I thought he had some rare condition where his hair would not grow over 1/4 of an inch. And he shows up looking like Howard Stern and Bob Dylan had a love child. So you trimmed it back a little bit. I think was Jim Nation walking around? Where's Jim Nation? Jim Nation, the only man in the mattress business whose name can double as a fitness franchise. Jim Nation, come on down to Jim Nation, get ripped at Jim Nation. I think I'm actually going to start that. I'm going to spell it J-I-M. Come on down for average Jims across this great nation, Jim Nation. Jim recently moved to Florida. He's doing well. Roger Magowitz, I know this on good authority. Roger Magowitz has raised $1.4 million since he walked in the building today. Mark Desjardins with C3 couldn't be here, but I want everybody to just clear up the rumor real quickly. He's not on meth. Okay? He is not, because cocaine's a little easier to get in Vegas. Mike Magnuson. You may recognize Mike Magnuson's crotch from the goodbed.com videos. That's a great angle, Cassidy. Thank you for, it's really a low angle. We all appreciate that.
It's a small target.
I gotta say though,
I get a lot of compliments on those edge support shots.
yes. Thanks to the Englander edge, right? You don't review us, I forgot. We don't sell online.
See, this is fun. I like this. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. You're next.
I gotta say though, I'm glad you're here because I just still feel the emotion from that speech you gave at the Furniture Today Bedding Conference. I mean, this is a real stem winder. He didn't show up, did he, Sheila? But it is good to see you, Magnuson.
Papa John's delivery guy. I was there.
You were there, yeah. He was in Florida. It is good to see Magnuson here because I know he loves the opulent hotels and the really nice hotel rooms. Where are you at this time? The Desert Inn Motel? Did you upgrade Cassidy to the youth hostel? El Rancho, Chinatown, Best Western. I gotta tell you that I've never seen somebody that makes so much money off Casper be so cheap.
Are we here to roast Quinn?
I see Trent Ramberger out there just being full on retired. There's a good announcement there on the fan. Thank you, Trent. Trent's over there looking like a hot tamale held its breath too long.
Trent resembles that remark.
Hey, wait a minute. I mean, hold on, I got one more for him because this guy needs some SPF 9000. He looks like he fell asleep day drunk. Red. So true. Hey, welcome to the party, little Trent. Where you been hiding out there?
Oh, there's plenty of beds to sleep on here.
Our pearly breads to sleep on here. Hey, look, if I need a podcast co-host at some point, will you step in for Quinn?
Oh, no doubt.
I just need another dummy.
Got him.
Hey, Quinn and I have recorded more than 370 episodes of the Dos Marcos show. Can we give it up for that? Many of you in this room have been on the show. It's been great. Many of you haven't. You're kind of boring. Is he talking about me? I haven't been on the show yet.
You will never know.
After that many shows, it's amazing to me that Mark Quinn still can't get his microphone to work. He shows up almost every show as if elves have sabotaged his technology. Just looking around like, what's going on? I pay attention to all the details. Who the hell did this to me? We're like a bad kung fu movie for 6 months. It's like, welcome to the Dos Marcos show. How many hours? Mattresses. It's going to be really fun. Great job, Quinn. What do you think about that? We're crushing it. I mean, that was after 300 episodes. It's amateur hour still. But he's passionate. And I think I think he can focus. Right? I think he can focus. I mean, I get the text messages from iPhone that say, I'm focusing right now on driving. Right now I'm focused on driving. And so I'm always thankful for that. But I gotta say, I literally have seen this man focus, so I know he can do it. When we were at Leggett and Platt, we had a photo shoot where half-dressed couples came in and demonstrated 52 sex positions on an adjustable bed. 52. He was dialed in. Focused. Nothing goes wrong. They pushed the guy aside at one point. Here, it's straddle, then saddle. That order. Straddle, and saddle. Where's saddle? You know something about straddle and saddle? Little Trent?
I might.
All right. Well,
Your mom does.
Let's go, little Trent.
speaking of sex, we were here in Vegas at one point years ago, sex or sleep research, trying to find the best mattress for sex and for sleep. We had a hybrid mattress covered up in a blind study, and then we had a Tempur-Pedic. And the hybrid did win. It won for the best for sex and sleep, like 80% of people. But I have to say, Tempur-Pedic did pretty well at ruining people's desire to have babies. Snap. I'm kidding though, Tempur-Pedic. No, they love it. Look, people figured it out. They moved to the floor, they went to the guest bedroom, went to the couch, it was all good. We figured it out. Being here in Vegas also reminds me of some late night conversations Quinn and I had. You remember that time it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, we were at the Paris, we were smoking cigarettes, and just talking about the future of the industry.
12
years ago, smoking away. And trust me, I felt really bad. I did feel bad for it because, I mean, who hangs out in Paris, right? I mean, besides Magnuson. I mean, he's got sticky carpet. You got Neil Zimmer walking around with nacho crumbs on his cargo shorts. Well, over the years, we have had many deep conversations. We have, and you know, Quinn's, he's a little bit emotional. He's a bit of a crier, and so I've made him cry many times on my own. But he does cry. He's going to cry today at some point, more than like a drunken college girl in the line at Taco Bell when it closes. That's Quinn crying. I know it hurts, doesn't it? When it closes, you're drunk and you're in college. Lived experience. But I have to say, speaking of tears, it's really good to see Mattress Firm back here in the same room with Tempur-Pedic. You remember that breakup? There's some tears there, right?
Careful.
I mean, somebody was crying after that deal. But hey, look, they're back together, and they're doing. It's almost just like Ben and J-Lo. They came out here to Vegas to get married, right? And just like any celebrity couple, surely it's going to last forever. The marriage is a good thing. Marriage is a good thing. Quinn's got a wife. Her name's Bridget. And trust me, she is a patient woman. A patient woman. She even dresses him. And she picks out a lot of shirts for him that have whales on them. They have whales on them. And I keep telling him, no, it's not a sperm whale. And stop talking about the blowhole. It's not what you think. But it happens. She buys him shirts. And each morning, she brings it out of the closet. She puts it on over his head. And he does it. Hands up, Mark. She puts it on, he does a little spin, and then he flashes his best winning smile in the mirror. He's off for his day. But one thing happens. His shirt is never buttoned. It's not buttoned to like right here. And I'm like, maybe Bridget likes it. Or maybe Quinn is trying to show just a little wink of his new chest tattoo he got.
That's his love button, Mark.
Just a little trace of that chest tattoo. You know, but you gotta watch. He'll show it to you if you didn't know about it. He will show you the chest tattoo, but I gotta warn you about something. This is what happens. He'll show it to you, and then he'll ask you to touch it, and then he'll say, "Trace it with your finger," and then he'll get a faraway look in his eyes, and he'll say, "Slow down. Faster. Stop right there." Okay, so don't let him trick you. Don't let him do that to you. Okay, guys, this is, thank you so much for coming out. I do want to toast my best friend and the guy that I love so much, Mark Quinn. It reminds me of a quote by Groucho Marx when I think about you. Groucho Marx says, when you end up in jail, not if, when you end up in jail. A good friend's going to be there trying to bail you out. A great friend is going to be in the cell next to you saying, damn, that was fun. So let's raise a glass. I need your help on this one because the official Dos Barcos toast is going to happen now, and I need you to repeat after me. Here's to great sleep.
Here's to great sleep.
And living your best life.
Living your best life.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Oh, here we go.
So all I can say is thank you for being here. How many of you are here because you want to sell me something, like a good bit, right? Like I kind of figured that part. Yeah. See, the only guy who's honest about it, way in the back. I'll buy it from here. That's good. I just want to say, like, look around the room. The cool part of it is, like, one of the honestly the best things that I ever hear about people talking to Mark and I about the podcast or the fam is that they thank us, oddly enough, right? When we get feedback on the show, it's always a thank you. It's a thank you for what you're doing inside the category. It's a thank you for the content you're putting out. It's a thank you for how we're trying to give all of you, all of us, information and stuff to like get better. And that's what it is. That's what we're about. That's why we built the fam, and that's why this fam. So Kinsley always says to me, we're you know, it was something we wrote in the book, is that we're all on the same ocean, maybe in the same storm, but in different boats. So I just want you to look around and think about it for a second. Like, if we're all better together,
then what happens to this category, right? And so the impact of this moment on me is to go, you guys are awesome. Like, you will never understand the impact you have on us and how grateful we are for you guys paying attention to what we do. That's the only reason we do it, is because of you. And so thank you. And so that's what I would say. This is the fam. This is why we do it, to come together, have some silly fun. And I love the fact that I'm in that firm. It's been a great thing. And it's brought me so much joy. Just want to call out my brother, Jeff, and my sister, Carrie, who are here. I love you both. So glad to get to do business with my family. So that's pretty cool. And then into Mark. And so whenever you're building a business, whenever you're looking inside of your own companies, like, it's cool to succeed, but it's way fucking cooler to succeed with people you care about, to be on that journey, to fail, to succeed, to reinvent. That is life. And I get to do it with him all the time. So grateful for you and your friendship and everything that means. And to you guys for being here and taking 30 minutes out. You are awesome. So I want to toast you and you right now. So here is a toast to this fam. May it live long, and may us all grow together so that this industry goes together, so that human beings understand that sleep can change their life. Cheers. Cheers. Now, who's got dinners to go to? Woo! You guys are the best. Thanks for coming in. It was really very freaking cool. Great moment for me. Thank you so much.
You could bounce on it. Yeah, bounce with it, bounce with it. Bounce with it, bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way that you could topple it. Hybrid on my wrist, that's a calculator watch. We add ourselves together and we take it up a notch.
Got the airflow, yo, keep you cool as it get. Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable, hybrid like a sweater vest.
You know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice
and I'm hot like a heater.
Bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night.
Yeah.
Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
Lay back, you don't have to practice. It's the best thing to happen to your mattress.
Yeah.
Get together to do it like I did. Everybody get hybrid.
If you want somebody to get in your vicinity, you probably want to feel a little bit of a hybridity. Foam alone, out of 5, maybe 1 star. Springs and foam, we're taking care of that lumbar. Mad back support, the best way to shack up or just get rest that won't mess your back up.
Like a hot chick mixed with a particle physicist or a mullet. Party in the back of the business. Best of both worlds like Mars and Venus.
The ultimate hybrid.
Nothing short of genius.
Keeping it loose while keeping it tight. We can make you sleep or play all night. Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You can bounce on it.
No stopping when the beat gets played back. Springs keep it popping, foam keeps it laid back. Party over here, get invited. Everybody get hybrid.
Listen, doesn't matter if your kitchen is charming when your bedroom's the most important part of the apartment. What kind of bed do you keep back there? Does your girl wanna chill on a beanbag chair? Hell no!
You need springs and foam, cause if that bowling ball don't bounce, you'll be sleeping alone.
And if the bed don't react, then you can't get low. We got that type of bounce that won't spill your Merlot.
So stick with us and you'll get rewarded.
Cause I'm so gentle
and I'm so supportive.
Hybrid is where the magic is.
And we just killed a song about mattresses.